The world you walk through right now is not the world that exists. It is the world you've built inside your mind. The streets you see, the opportunities you notice, the limits you believe in, the fears you obey, all of it is constructed brick by brick, thought by thought, laid down over years of repetition. And every single brick you set in place today will be the walls you live within tomorrow. Look closely. Every skyscraper that pierces the clouds, every empire that moves nations, every invention that reshapes the human story, they all began as invisible blueprints in the private workshop of someone's mind. Thomas Edison walked through nights lit only by his own belief. Henry Ford was told by the so-called experts that the automobile was a useless toy. Walt Disney was laughed out of offices for pitching a mouse in gloves. Abraham Lincoln, born in a one-room log cabin, held in his head the architecture of a freer nation long before the first brick of change was laid. They didn't wait for proof. They built it, one thought, one decision, one relentless act at a time. And here's the truth most people will never face. Your thoughts are not harmless. They are construction crews. They are demolition teams. They are architects. Every moment, they are either building you a palace or trapping you inside a prison you can't see. If your mind is filled with visions of defeat, you will begin stacking bricks of hesitation, bricks of fear, bricks of self-doubt, until you stand walled off from your own potential. But if your mind is filled with images of strength, precision, and victory, you will begin laying the foundations of something no storm can tear down. The greatest mistake is believing the mind is passive, that thoughts are just passing weather. No. The mind is the soil, the seed, and the harvest. The moment you allow a thought to take root, you have planted tomorrow's reality. And if you think you can hide from this law by pretending not to think, you're wrong, because indecision is also a thought. Worry is also a thought. So is the belief that nothing will change. Every builder begins with a vision. You cannot lay stone on stone if you don't know what you are building. That's why people who wander through life without clarity are constantly exhausted. They are working on construction sites they don't even own. They're building walls that cage them instead of gates that free them. Your mind must become intentional. Your blueprint must be deliberate. You must see the structure in such vivid detail that even in the dark, you know where to place your next brick. Think of the ancient cathedrals. The builders knew they would never see the final spire in their lifetime, yet they laid their stones with precision, knowing the work was worth more than themselves. That is the discipline of vision, to build today for a tomorrow you may never touch, but which will exist because you began. Your future is not being written in some distant government office, nor is it being dictated by your enemies, nor even your friends. It is being built right now in the private, sacred space of your thoughts. If your mental bricks are small and weak, your foundation will crack under the first weight life places on it. If they are strong, reinforced with belief, sharpened by discipline, fired in the furnace of persistence, then no flood, no wind, no betrayal can bring it down. Every day is construction. Every conversation is a shipment of materials. Every book you read, every voice you listen to, every moment you spend in silence or chaos is either delivering steel or delivering rot to your sight. You cannot let thieves into your warehouse. You cannot accept cheap materials from the cynical and the mediocre. You must become a ruthless inspector of your own mind. And yes, there will be days when it feels like the bricks are heavy. Days when the cement won't hold. Days when you question why you started at all. That is when the master builders separate from the amateurs. The amateur stops when the work becomes slow. The master knows that slow is still building. Even one brick placed with faith is worth more than 1,000 scattered in doubt. Look at your life right now, not as a series of random events, but as a structure you have been building all along. Where are the walls? Where are the windows? Is there room for the light to enter? Or have you bricked yourself in? Are you building a fortress of strength, or a cage of fear? Be honest. Because until you admit the truth about the architecture of your mind, you cannot redesign it. And when you redesign it, when you begin choosing every thought like a craftsman selects each stone, your life will transform at the speed of construction. One brick today, another tomorrow. Until one morning, you look around and realize, you are living inside the castle you once only saw in your mind. Every empire, every cathedral, every monument that has stood the test of time began with a single brick. Not a wall, not a tower, just one humble block laid with intention. Your life works the same way. Every thought you think is a brick. Every belief you hold is mortar. Every choice you make is the act of laying one more piece into the structure of your future. The tragedy is, most people are building unconsciously, stacking bricks of doubt, stacking bricks of fear, stacking bricks of procrastination, until one day they look up and realize they've built a prison around their own potential. You can tell me your dreams, but I can see your future better by looking at your habits of thought. Because what you think repeatedly, you eventually believe. And what you believe, you inevitably build. The man who walks around believing that the world is against him will find proof of it on every street corner. The woman who believes she has no talent will never look for it, never nurture it, never express it, and her life will become the evidence of the lie she accepted as truth. Your mind is the master architect. Your thoughts are the blueprint. But the hammer, the nails, the bricks, they are in your hands every single day. Edison didn't invent the light bulb by accident. He built it thought by thought, experiment by experiment, with each failure not tearing his structure down, but strengthening its foundation. Henry Ford didn't create the automobile assembly line because he got lucky. He obsessed over efficiency, over improvement, over possibility, laying mental brick after brick until the picture in his mind became steel, rubber, and motion. That is the art of building your future. The material begins invisible, inside your own head. The greatest danger is not in thinking too big. It is in thinking too small and accepting that smallness as the borders of your world. If you think only of surviving, you will never create a life worth living. If you think only of comfort, you will never discover what you're capable of enduring. And if you think only of what's in front of you, you will never see the skyline you could have built. Your thoughts must be designed with care. You wouldn't hand a blueprint of your home to a careless architect who draws crooked walls and unstable floors, so why would you let your mind carelessly draft the plans for your future? Every morning you wake up, you are placing the first brick of the day. What will it be? Will it be a brick of gratitude, setting the tone for strength? Or a brick of complaint, weakening the walls before you even step outside? History remembers the builders. The pyramids were built stone by stone. Rome was built brick by brick. And your life, will be built the same way. The question is whether you will build a fortress that protects your dreams, or a cage that locks them away. You cannot control every stone life throws at you, but you can decide how to use them. You can take the same hardship that destroys one person and make it the foundation under your feet. That is the discipline of a master builder. That is the discipline of one who refuses to let random chance design his destiny. Your mind is the construction site. Your words, your beliefs, your focus, these are the tools. And every moment you choose the materials you will work with. Will you lay down the rough, jagged stones of envy and comparison? Or will you carve the smooth, strong blocks of courage and persistence? Remember this. The walls you build inside your mind are the ones you will live inside for the rest of your life. If you keep telling yourself you can't, you won't. If you keep telling yourself you're not ready, you'll wait forever. And if you keep telling yourself one day, you'll die with bricks still in your hands, the blueprint of your dreams never lifted from paper. Stop building excuses. Start building the vision. Stop stacking fear. Start stacking faith. Because every day you wait, you're not just pausing, you're constructing something you don't want to live in. And one day, the structure will be too tall to change without tearing it all down. Brick by brick, the future rises, but here's the truth most people can't face. The bricks are not placed by luck, by talent, or by fate. They're placed by you. By your thoughts. And if your thoughts are weak, scattered, poisoned with doubt, then every brick you lay will crumble before it can hold the weight of your life. The richest man in the world and the man sleeping under a bridge both lay bricks every day. The difference is the blueprint in their mind. One builds with precision, focus, and belief, while the other builds without a plan, reacting to the moment, letting the storms dictate the walls. The tragedy is that most people think they're victims of the wind, when in truth, they just never decided to build differently. Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate who rose from a poor factory boy to one of the wealthiest men in history, once said that his greatest fortune was not in steel, but in the power of his mind. He understood what few do. The mind is the true workshop of your destiny. The moment you command it with vision, the world begins to bend toward your plans. The moment you neglect it, the world bends you. Look around you right now. Every building, every road, every invention was first a thought in someone's mind. The airplane was once just a dream in the Wright brothers' heads. Henry Ford's assembly line was once a vague vision he refused to let go of, even when the experts told him it was impossible. Walt Disney was laughed at, told that a giant amusement park was foolish and destined to fail. The difference between them and the millions who gave up is not luck, not birthright, it's that they never stopped laying their mental bricks toward the picture they held in their mind. Your mind is the architect, your thoughts are the bricks, your actions are the mortar. That means every single day, you are either building a fortress that will protect your dreams, or a prison that will trap you. And here's the part no one tells you. The prison walls feel safe at first. They feel familiar. They tell you, don't take risks. Stay here where you know the rules. But that's a lie. Those walls are the reason your soul feels restless at night. They're the reason you feel something calling you but can't explain it. You're not meant to live behind the bricks of fear. The walls of your future will rise either way. The only question is whether they will stand as a monument to your courage or as a gravestone marking the dreams you never dared to chase. And this is where discipline becomes the master builder. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to work, it's about training your mind to choose the brick that belongs to your vision every single time. It's about refusing to place bricks that weaken the structure. You can't build a palace with bricks of procrastination, excuses, and half-effort. You can't build greatness if you keep trading your best hours for distractions and comfort. Every day, life hands you a pile of bricks. Some are strong: focus, courage, persistence, learning, gratitude. Some are weak: doubt, fear, laziness, resentment. You choose which ones get laid into your wall. And you choose by the thoughts you allow to live in your mind. If your mornings are filled with thoughts like, I can't, it's too late, I'm not ready, then you've already weakened the foundation before the day even begins. But if you rise with thoughts like, I will, I am capable, this day is mine, then the first bricks of the day lock into place with strength that no storm can rip out. You are not building for today. You are building for 10 years from now. Every thought is an investment in that future. The dangerous thing is, you don't feel the result of a bad brick right away. Just like you don't feel the damage of one skipped workout or one missed opportunity. But over time, they stack up. And by the time you realize it, the wall is leaning, and the repair costs are far higher than if you had just laid it right the first time. That's why you must decide now that your thoughts will no longer be left to chance. You will choose them like a master builder chooses the finest stone. You will reject the rotten bricks no matter how tempting they seem. Because your life is too valuable to risk on a careless blueprint. And the beautiful truth? The moment you start building with intention, everything changes. The same world that ignored you before will start to take notice. Doors will appear where there were only walls. People will be drawn to the strength of your structure. Opportunities will arrive because you've built something solid enough to hold them. Because the future doesn't belong to those who wait for it, it belongs to those who build it.